Welcome back to William C. Fayetteville, everybody. We are so glad to have you. I hope you've had time to have coffee or croissant. We've got a great speaker on tap for you today. We have Mr. Eric Stevenson with EVuitton that's going to come and talk a little bit about his business. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to you, Eric.
Let me use this microphone. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
All right, let me get the clicker since I don't have to beg Rico to come over here and change slides for me. First off, I want to just introduce myself. My name is Eric Stevenson. I'm the CEO of EVuitton. And if I say EVuitton, what is that? That sounds fancy. That's on purpose. That is on purpose. We took, like Louis Vuitton. So we took Vuitton. And actually, Vuitton is a African word. Yeah. So, Mr. Google tells you everything you need to know. Trust me. Just a little bit about myself. I'm a 20-year Navy veteran. I'm from North Carolina. Hold on, let me back up. I'm a 20-year Navy veteran, and I also worked on Fort Bragg for 6 years for the Army. Anchors away. Okay, all right. I got to make sure I take care of my soldiers. We worked for the Army for 6 years, managing the transition program. When all of the soldiers are getting out of the Army. So I did that for about 6 years. That was very fulfilling because I got to work directly with Fayetteville Tech and a lot of other different colleges and universities and employers. And who would have thought years later that I would be an entrepreneur myself? Because I always enjoy working, just doing my thing, for the federal government. So EVuitton, we try to make ourselves a little different than your average ride service. So it's going to cost a little more, but you get more for what you're paying for. So let's watch this quick 20-second video here. Good EVuitton day. Yeah. Book us today, man. First class service, man. Beautiful weather out here. Beautiful Tesla, man. Let's take a look on the inside, what you're going to get, man. It's beautiful white leather. Come on now. Can't you see yourself in here having a good old time, relaxing on your way to the Raleigh-Durham International Airport or whatever destination you may have in mind? Right there. Beautiful. Book us today. EVuitton.com. EVuitton. Yes. So that was a Tesla Model Y. Right now, I wanted to give y'all the inside of what it looks like in the vehicles that we're currently using. Now, we're a small business, so we have two Tesla Model Ys, like you just saw there, with a white interior. It's a mid-size SUV, so it has a lot of trunk room. So when we're taking people to the airport, you can get those, when y'all go to Cancun, when y'all gonna be gone for like a month, those big roll ones. So you can get two of those big ones back there, and you can get like two mid-size because it has a sub-trunk also. And it has the front area. You can get another mid-size bag in there as well. And you can get 3 adults comfortably in the back. And if you're nice and you got a 4th person, I let them sit up in front with me. I let you sit in the front with me. And that's for no charge. That's free. You get to sit in the front with me. And I had a lady that got motion sick. She said she gets motion sickness in the car. So she said, can I sit in the front? I'm like, hey, you paid. You can sit in the front. Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't mind at all. Went around, got the door for her, put it in the front seat. Just don't get sick in my car. You can drive if you're going to get sick. I'll sit in the back. Yeah, that's not my thing. So why did we create EVuitton? There are several problems, and you can see it right here, pre-scheduled rides. You can't really do that in this area. If you're going to Cancun, you need to be picked up at 4 a.m. to get to RDU at 5:30. You can't afford for your rideshare service to cancel on you, right? You need to know with certainty that someone's going to be at your house at 4 a.m. or whatever time. And currently, you cannot do that with a lot of the major providers. EVuitton, we're not going to cancel on you. You're going to pre-book us. So if you know you're going to Jamaica a month from now, go ahead and book us now. If you know you're going wherever you want to go, book us now and we'll be at your doorstep on time or early. So primarily, we do our main trips from Fayetteville to RDU or this local area to RDU, but we have other services as well. We have local services, and we'll talk about that and I'll point those out because I'm really excited about the local stuff as well. So as I mentioned, there's a lack of providers in this area that you can lock down a guaranteed ride. You cannot afford to miss your flight. You cannot afford to get to the airport late. I mean, the airport already has enough delays on its own or cancellations. You don't want to be the reason that, or your ride should not be the reason that you don't make your flight. Now, I don't know about you guys, anybody that's, married. I'm not going to be responsible for us missing our flight to vacation. I have a 4-year-old and a 10-year-old. So when we plan to go somewhere, it's not going to be my fault that the ride share service canceled on me because, happy wife, happy life. That's what I believe. And I stand on that. I've been married for 18 years. It works. So I don't know what your books tell you. Happy wife, happy life. That's what it tells me. It works. So let's go to the next. Now, quality of service is a problem. I travel a lot, and I'm forced to take local transportation when I travel. And you get on some of the major apps, and sometimes it's a nice experience. Sometimes it feels like they just dropped off a dog and a cat and a raccoon in the back seat. So it varies the level of service when you get picked up. But you're out of town, you have no control over that. But here locally, you're going to get clean, high quality professional service. We want to give you a limo-like service, a limo-like feel. So we're going to be dressed appropriately. We're going to get the door for you, close the door behind you. We're going to put your bags into the car. We'll have water for you. And we also do a service to where usually when we're picking you up from the airport, if you need Starbucks, Chipotle, or something like that, I go pick it up ahead of time and have it in the car for you. So, and actually RDU has this brand new building called the RDU Galleria, and they have like a food court and a menu. So you could I send a menu to the client and they can pick something, and that comes inside the price. So you don't pay extra for your Starbucks, you don't pay extra for your Chipotle or anything like that. It's all rolled in. So yeah, those are issues, quality of service. I don't particularly like to smell like pets or smoke, if I'm riding with someone because it kind of stays in your clothes. So I've been in those rideshare companies, and the person just didn't have a level of cleanliness that I feel like you should have being a professional company. And you'll never have that problem with us. I don't know if you can notice the roof. It looks like the roof is missing. It's not missing. It's not missing. That is a beautiful glass roof on the Tesla Model Y. And at nighttime, I like it. Well, not when you're driving. You can look at the stars. Okay. Let me be clear. I'm not going to be looking at the stars while y'all in the back seat. Okay. But it's just a beautiful experience. It's very quiet. It's all electric. It's just a very calming situation. And we generally put on some smooth jazz, but literally we can put on any type of music that you want, heated seats or anything that you want. We're going to roll the red carpet out. Can't you imagine yourself in this beautiful Tesla being picked up, first class service, man? We're going to get the door for you. We're going to close the door for you. If you got bags, we're going to put the bags in the back. How about a night on the town where you have your own car service for the evening? Yes, EVuitton, EVuitton.com, man. Fill out the contact form and we'll get right with you, man. Book us now. Yeah, book us. That's one of my favorite lines. Book us right now. A night out on the town where you don't have any worries. So, if you're going to have some spirits while you're out at dinner, you have zero concerns that you're not going to get back home safe, that you're not going to get back on post safe without any involvement, being pulled over for any situation whatsoever. So again, that's just one of our billboards, because I love using the digital billboards y'all see around here. So I've been using some of those. It's just one of my billboards that I have posted. And that's our Facebook. You can go to Facebook at EVuitton, EV, and you'll find us there. So a solution, trusted drivers. You know who you're getting. So you're going to get myself or 2 others currently, as we're a small business and we've all been vetted. We're all trusted. And that's important. I had a client that his wife was going on a girls' trip. And I picked her up at about 3:30 a.m. And he said, I'm choosing you because I heard a lot of good things about you and you're trusted. And I want to make sure my wife gets to the airport safe and she's not in the parking garage fumbling with luggage and who knows what could happen to her. And I want to make sure she gets back home safe. So that's why he hired me. I was like, okay, all right. I didn't know if he was trying to rough me up or not, but I said, man, that's true. I mean, when you send your loved ones out, you don't want to take for granted that they're going to get there safe. So when you put them in the hands of someone or a company like our company that you can trust, they're going to get there safe. We're not going to be texting and driving. We're going to be, following the speed limits, and nothing is going to physically happen to them because we have teenage clients that we pick up. You want to know that your teenage daughter, your teenage son is safe with the driver, because we have parents that are working, 2 jobs and they can't get to soccer practice, so they call EVuitton. And I'll even sit at the soccer practice and wait for it to be over with. We do that. We're going to talk about some other things that we do. So I love doing that. Now the teenagers, they don't talk they never talk to me. I'm making small talk. Hey, how you doing? And it's just like, all right. Oh, they got their AirPods in. I think they had their AirPods in. They're really not listening to anything. They just don't want to talk to me. But I said, hey, your mama paid me, so you don't have to say a thing. You really don't. You really don't have to say a word. Just when you're ready for a first class experience being picked up, call EVuitton. All right. Nothing but clean vehicles. We're going to be sharply dressed. We're going to put your bags in your car for you. We're going to treat you really nice, temperature controlled environment, heated seats. You're going to be taken well care of. All right. EVuitton.com. EVuitton. Fayetteville, all the way to RDU. Book us. Now you're probably saying he's driving and his hands not on the wheel. The car was driving, okay? The Tesla was driving. Yeah, that's one of the safety features that I love about using the Tesla is it's like having it's called autopilot, but it's like having a co-pilot. It keeps you in the lane. Literally, if something jumped out in front of the car, like a deer or something, the car is going to brake before I could even cover the brake with my own foot. And I love those safety features. I love knowing that I have an extra set of eyes with me when I have people in the back. That's precious cargo. That's somebody's daughter, somebody's son, husband, every person in that back seat is important. I want to make sure they get there safe. Now, you can see some of the services that we provide. I like the date night one because I love to see people back there smiling in love and stuff like that. Or at least they look like they in love when they in the back. I mean, you ain't gotta pretend for me, but they look happy back there. I get the door for them, and they're just always happy. And I love doing those. I did one to Raleigh recently to a steak restaurant. I think it's called Phillips or something. Y'all familiar with that? Okay, it's a fancy place. Okay, yeah, they had money, so that's probably why we don't know what the restaurant is. But really nice steakhouse. Really nice. They tip very good too. So I was like, I said, this is a nice, I never heard of this place before. I guess it's in that little circle, the money circle. But as long as you're paying, I don't care where you're going. Doctor's appointments. So one of my neighbors is legally blind. And what I do with that neighbor, I go to the door, she grabs my arm, I put her in the car, we get to the appointment, I get her out of the car, I take her to the counter. And then when I come back, I do the same thing. I walk, and her husband, he's deployed, and he trusts me to make sure that his wife, that's legally blind, gets to her appointments, and nobody's going to take advantage of her because they hired a trusted company. And I pride myself on that because I have 2 daughters, a 4-year-old and a 10-year-old. I want to make sure that they're always protected on a school bus or on a field trip. So I take pride in that. And that's something that I let my clients know. You don't have any worries of anything happening to your loved one. Doctor's appointments, taking aging parents grocery shopping. That's something new that we started. So, and I would take you two, but the idea came with people's parents, right? That are independent or semi-independent. And, I love being able to go to the door and help grandmama, grandpapa to the car and actually shop with them in the grocery store if that's requested. Get them back in the car, put the groceries in the car, and if requested, take the groceries in the house. If requested, I'll put them in the refrigerator and in the pantry as well. So if that's something that you would like to look into, call EVuitton, and we will be right by their side as they're shopping. And I think that's key because it's good to have a level of independence, but you just need somebody right there, to make sure that they're okay. And I would love to do that for you. Now, if you want me to take you, I will do the same thing with you too. It's so it's not just for aging parents, it's for people that's paying. It's for paying clients. So don't think like, oh man, I can't go grocery shopping with EVuitton. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Once that payment goes through, I'll be right there with you. Harris Teeter, Walmart, World Market, Bass Pro Shop, wherever you want to go, we're going. Proms, weddings is on there. We did a little tour in Raleigh. The couple that wanted to go to dinner in Raleigh, they wanted to ride around Raleigh and just see some of the different things downtown, and we had fun doing that. So yeah, those are just some of the services that I already mentioned. But I definitely love the escorting clients with physical limitations. I mean, why not? Why not? Somebody needs to do it, and currently, I don't see anyone else advertising that. I would hope other companies would adopt that as well. But let's move on. So it's real easy. You go to EVuitton.com to book. You can pay on the site, and if it's a more specific situation, then we'll probably talk, and I'll send you an invoice, and we'll put the services on the invoice. Of course, we can talk via text and Facebook Messenger, but I love providing these services, and I wish I could do it by myself, but at the same time, I'm glad I don't have to, because we want to grow this. You know, I'm only one person, so I have two others working with me right now, but we want to become the standard in this area to where you're seeing, 10, 15, 20, 30 Teslas going around town, providing a high level of service for a good rate, in my opinion, and for a good rate. All right. And that's just some images of, get home safe. See people out eating dinner. And some people, when they go eat dinner, they like to have a little something that they probably don't want to go through a police check. We can go through the police check. I'm saying, officer, everybody in here is drunk except for me. We can go to the gate at Fort Liberty and say, everybody in this car is drunk except for me. I was always a designated driver when I was in the Navy, and I took pride in that. I just made a personal choice. I've never had alcohol before in my life, so no need to start now at 50, right? So let me just keep driving y'all that choose to indulge in some spirits, and I'll get you home safe.
Man, Eric, right here, EVuitton. We are at RDU Airport. We are working. If you need that ride to the airport, RDU, you got to call EVuitton, man. Nice, clean, crispy, white Tesla, white interior, man. Get you there nice and safe, man. From Fayetteville, North Carolina, all the way to RDU Airport in Raleigh, North Carolina, man. Book us. EVuitton.com. EVuitton.com.
You notice I spell it all the time. People say, "What? How do you say it?" So now I just spell it in just about every little clip that I do. EVuitton, like Louis Vuitton, yeah. Those guys, yeah, that one, Vuitton. So yeah, EVuitton. And then I noticed like the EV is like, oh, like electric vehicle. That was not even on purpose. That was just organic. I said, okay, thank you, Lord, for dropping that in there. Is it Eric Vuitton? No, it's not Eric Vuitton, but that EV stands out. So I capitalized the EV to kind of, yeah. Now, I kind of already mentioned this, like how we do it, what makes us different. Here's just a couple of the different things. I mean, being able to book us, having peace of mind that someone's going to be at your doorstep, having peace of mind knowing that mom or dad is getting to the grocery store. Okay, mom or dad is getting to their VA appointment or doctor's appointment. Okay, your teenager is getting to their destination. Okay, that matters. That matters. I always like to tell people, that play video games, you get to what they call respawn. You get to start over. No, this is real life. You don't get to start over. So you have to make choices to place your loved ones in the hands of others that you trust. And we would love to provide those services to you.
Thank you. All right, I'm ready to go. Driver. Yes, sir. Get me there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where to? It don't matter. Long as it's first class. Oh, that's too easy. Do it EVuitton, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. So in case you didn't notice, that was not my twin brother. That was actually me in the front and the back seat. If you got time after this, I'll explain to you how that was done, okay? If you haven't figured it out already, I'll explain how that was done, all right? I mean, we kind of already said it. I mean, really, I think you know the value of being
driven somewhere safely. I mean, I've had situations to where I left my park lights on and my car was at the airport for 4 days. So you know what that means. I have friends of mine who've given me horror stories of door dings, windows broken out, things stolen from their car being parked at the airport. Now, I don't know about you guys. When we go on vacation, we always have to take a day after we get back to recover. It's nothing worse than flying back into RDU, tired from vacation, and then still have to drive an hour back to Fayetteville or the surrounding area. Now, that's a husband's job, so you wives really don't have nothing to worry about. But that's the husband's job to drive us back home, after dinner, and everybody else is asleep and they full of food. But yeah, like, why do that? Why not schedule EVuitton to pick you up? And it's a guarantee you're not going to be trying to flag or ride down or not sure of the level of service. I think the level of customer service is lacking these days. You know, you go to McDonald's expecting Chick-fil-A service. That's not going to happen. It's not gonna happen. I would like to say we're the Chick-fil-A of the rideshare industry, because they kind of set the standard. I want to say state to state. I've never been to a quote unquote bad Chick-fil-A, but I've been to some bad other restaurants, and I want to say that EVuitton is gonna always be the same because we pride ourselves on the level of service. And it's funny how, we talking about Vuitton, right? If you go to Louis Vuitton website, I've never heard anybody question like, well, that bag's cost too much, or those shoes cost too much. They buy them because they understand the value of having that Louis Vuitton bag at the high school reunion. You're better than everybody else, right? That's why you buy expensive things, right? Because you want to prove to the high school bully that you're better than them, the cheerleader. I was better than you back then, and I'm better than you now, right? That's why we do that. So with EVuitton, I've had people say, "Oh, it costs a little more." It's like you're paying for the level of service, the security, and knowing that you're booking a ride, that you're getting someone that's going to show up. They're not going to take advantage of you in any kind of way, and you're going to have fun. If you choose to talk, we'll have some great conversation. Um, and that's kind of really the value to the customers. That's really the benefits, and you can pick out your favorite benefit. But I don't think anyone would disagree that you want to get to where you're going safe. It's dangerous out here on this highway, and the closer you get to Raleigh, the more interesting type of drivers you have. The pace picks up when you get out there in them 4 lanes. It just changes by the time you get around Cary. You need a professional NASCAR driver out there, and all of us are trained. Actually, one of my other drivers, he actually drives 18-wheelers as well. So we have some, and another driver was driving for another rideshare service for a couple of years. So they have a lot of experience on the road. And myself, I've been driving for a long time, and I take pride on my driving skills as well. And I've already mentioned these things: and your family being safe, no damage to your car at the airport. You're saving money on parking. You pick your reason. You pick your reason, and we would love to, be the provider of choice. And I like the fact that you can book it now. You already booked your flight to France. Go ahead and book your transportation as well. Go ahead and lock that in, and we'll communicate with you, days before. We'll communicate with you days before your pickup. And if there are any changes, we're very flexible. We're not going to say, oh, no refund. You changed your flight. You lost that money. We don't do that. If you have to change something, we'll make the adjustment. We'll make the adjustment. We're a small business. We're not trying to take advantage of anybody. We want to make sure that you're a happy customer. And again, I want to open up for any questions. I'm Eric Stevenson, CEO of EVuitton. We're veteran owned, as I mentioned, did 20 years in the Navy, but I did work for the Army. I did work for the Army. I want y'all to know that. And if I was in an Air Force town, I'd be like, I really love the Air Force. I know how to play to the crowd, okay? So wherever I'm at, that's what I love the most. I was stationed at Camp Lejeune for 4 years. So if I do a presentation down there, I'll be like, I've always loved the Marines, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just being real with y'all. Wherever you're at, make sure you show love to wherever you are, okay? In some kind of way. Even if you never served, just say, man, I always liked the Marine Corps, if you're down there. So that's me. Any questions? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
From Fayetteville to RDU
It's the same rate. So 150 going, 150 coming back. Now, when you book both trips, we do 10% discount. And if you're nice and give me a compliment on my suit, I might take something else off too. Okay. All right. So we can get you for 250 right now. If you book right now, 250. Yes, ma'am. Charlotte is on the map as well. Again, because if it's scheduled out ahead of time, we can do that. That's not a problem. And we do the rate based on the mileage. So clearly, you know, Charlotte is much further. We will be able to give you a good quote on a trip to Charlotte, based on not even how many people in the car. It's just based on the distance. So, you know, if you want to put 3 people in there, that's fine. We're not going to overcharge you per person. Yes. I mean, I don't want to go to California. I mean, oh no, it's not a range. It's really the time, if that makes sense. So the example I gave when I took the people to Raleigh, and they said, well, we want to be here for 2 hours, and I normally would do $50 hour wait, but they were just so nice, and I had so much fun, and I had worked with them before. I waived like one of the hours. So I do my best to work with you to get a good rate. So if you know, okay, we want to go to Raleigh, dinner for 2 hours and an hour of something else, so 3 hours, I would say, well, you know what? I'm just gonna charge you guys 1 hour wait time and just charge you the distance. So yeah, pretty much in the area, you know, South Carolina, you know, early South Carolina, not southern South Carolina. A pack, like more than one? Absolutely. So it's 4 of y'all. Okay, yeah, we could use both Teslas then. We could do that. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, we've done that before. We've done that before. We've used both vehicles before to where we had a group of, I think it was 6 or 7. You know, put 3 over here, 4 over there, or three. Uh-huh. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you have an option now. We'll be right down there in Spivey's Corner. I'm familiar with Spivey's Corner. Uh-huh. And was there another question over here? Yes, ma'am. Oh, I got you next. Mm-hmm. So I can do it over the phone, in person. So if we need to book in person, so you know, if they have a obviously cash, or if they have a credit card, where all the credit cards you can tap. So like on my phone, I could take a payment right on my phone. You could have their debit card or credit card, and they can just tap my phone, and we could take the payment in person if that was necessary. If that's the situation where they couldn't book online, we could book in person. And I don't have a problem meeting them somewhere to actually do the transaction. Yes, ma'am. They could just give me a call. Never, would never smoke in the vehicle. No, ma'am. I'm driving the car. I use the autopilot for the safety features. Yeah. So when I have clients in there, I mean, myself and the Tesla is always gonna have those safety features turned on. So I'm always driving the car. Yeah. Mhm. Well, currently we have 2 employees because again, we're a small business, self-funded, and it's amazing how you can be in the military for 20 years and be a citizen here, and you start a new business, they tell you you don't have business credit, so you can't get a loan. I didn't let that stop me. I just bought my own car with my own money, and once we build things up, we'll be fine. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Repeating the question. Okay, I will. I'll repeat the question. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I would say last minute, and I'm available. I'm gonna take that money, believe that. So the question, let me repeat the question. The question was, do y'all do any last minute services? Y'all normally do pre-booking. That's the question. The answer is yes. I mean, if I have the ability to do it, like let's say someone needed a ride today at 5 o'clock, I would look at my schedule, and if I or one of my partners was available, we will book it. You know, it's just more difficult being a small business. You know, hey, I need someone now, you know, and we're still managing life, you know, gotta go over to school, pick kids, you know, those type of things. But I would always say take a chance. And I've had situations where emergencies popped up. I had a client that needed to get over to Fort Liberty because she needed to get her husband's car. So it was within a few hours. I was like, I looked at the calendar, I said, oh yeah, I can take you over there, not a problem. So we try in advance, but give us a shot. Give us a shot. We'll try to do it any last minute. Question. How far? I mean, if you know you're traveling, I would just say go ahead and do it. Again, small business, it might just be the fact that we're booked, you know, or yeah, if you know, just go ahead and book. I would do that. But a day in advance is usually good enough. And it takes me 2 minutes to look at my calendar to see if there's availability or not. So if you want to book us and you already know you're going somewhere and you don't want to roll the dice that, you know, your ride service is going to cancel on you or not show up, I would recommend EVuitton. Yes, ma'am. So the question was, can you book same day on the website? It's not gonna let you book same day on the website. So that's when you want to reach out, phone call, DM, you know. Yeah, I can say area code 252-548-0441. My phone number is 252-548-0441. Hopefully your number doesn't come up as spam, because you know I'm not gonna answer it. You know how it says potential spam on your phone? You know, you never seen that before when somebody call your cell phone? No, if it says spam, I'm not gonna answer. Because real people leave a message. Hey, this is Lisa. I need a ride. And I'm gonna call you back. And then we're gonna send you an invoice and we'll book you once that payment goes through. You're booked then. You're not booked when you request it. You're booked when the payment goes through. Yes, ma'am. Another question. Are our services 24 hours? Yes, they are. We've picked up clients at 1 a.m., 2, 3, 4, you name it. And I'm very proud to pick people up 3 a.m. when it's raining and it's difficult weather to navigate through, because that customer really sees the value immediately of being driven to Raleigh or wherever they're going safely through adverse weather conditions. And as weird as it may sound, my wife would co-sign on this. I always love driving in the rain. I enjoy it. You know, it's just, I don't know. I just love the way the rain sounds on the windshield and stuff like that. It's just kind of relaxing. And then I consider myself a very safe driver. So I understand how fast I can go to avoid hydroplaning and all those things. I'm that car that's in the right lane going the speed limit when everybody else is passing me. So yeah. Any other questions? And I do have a client in here, Mr. Xavier right there. I didn't even ask him to be here. He just showed up on his own. Right here, him and his wife, I picked him up, and I believe I did a good job because he's in here right now. Thank you, sir. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. It was affordable. Yeah. So the comment, and for the people that couldn't hear it, we have an actual client in here, and he said I did a great job, and he would never choose another company over EVuitton. That's what I heard. Yes, ma'am. Yes, I generally, yes, ma'am. The question was, is there a review site? I generally send the Google review link to the client, you know. Not every time. I don't fill it out for the client every time. It just depends. That right, that costs more for me to do the review for you. Yes, yes, ma'am.
We have one more question.
Okay.
Are you looking to expand? And if so, how soon?
I am looking to expand. The only way to expand is to get a consistent flow of clients, and we'll be able to purchase another vehicle. And another way to expand is we would love to do some contract work, whether it's with Fort Liberty, whether it's with the city, whether it's with the VA. So if there are people in this room, or you know people that can get us into those type of meetings, we would love to do that, because at the same time, you know, we're currently all electric, and that there's a value, and some people see a value in having all electric services. You know, I see the value in it. Um, it costs less overall when you're driving a vehicle that you don't have to put gas and oil in. Now, as much as I say that, I mean, if you look outside, I drove a Corvette over here. So I'm, you know, so I'm not saying that it should be mandatory. I feel like we should be able to choose what type of vehicles we drive. You know, my company is EVuitton. It does electric cars, and then I'll jump in my V8 Corvette and have fun with that too. So yes, ma'am. Oh, that's a good question. I think she know the answer to. I've been in business for publicly. We launched in August 2023. But in 2022, I started working on the idea itself because I wanted to get experience. So I started working with one of the big ride share services. So I ain't even telling anybody, like my wife knew, obviously. So I would go to Raleigh and pick people up at the airport under one of the other major ride share companies to learn the game. I didn't want to start a company and then not know it firsthand. So I picked up hundreds and hundreds of people for probably about a 9-month, 10-month period to learn the game from the inside, you know, at the employee level. And I took their model and I changed it to a partnership model. Because let's say you have a Tesla right now, and I can partner with you working with our company, and you'll get a higher split of the revenue because you're using your own vehicle. So I'll give you an example. So right now, one of the major companies I probably would get paid about $43 to take you to Raleigh. Between $39 and $43 with one of the other major companies. I pay my drivers $60. Way more than the major company. I'm a small business, but I said, no, I don't want to pay you $43. I want to, now they pay you $43 and you're using your own vehicle. So your profit margin is probably really around $30 after you account for your fuel and whatnot, and there and back. So I'm paying them $60 and they're using my vehicle. I believe in people. I believe in sowing seeds. I believe if I sow a seed like that now, that my business is going to grow on a whole nother level. So, yes, ma'am.
Pricing is very important.
Yes.
Just curious because how does this compare to your competition? I mean, I don't know the numbers, you said $100, you go to RDU, but how does that compare to your competition?
So most of the other companies, you know, it's only really two bigger ones. They probably charge about $80 to $90 to go. But again, who's coming? I mean, who? You know, I've had people on some of the Facebook pages, like you know, these groups. They'll say, "Oh, this company only charged $75." I said, "Well, go with them." Yeah, like I've never been to the Louis Vuitton store and negotiated. You know, I haven't been to the Gucci store and I haven't been to Foot Locker and negotiated. So it's like, you know, you guys saw the presentation, and I know people haven't sat through the presentation. They just kind of see the numbers. I'm a working person. You know, I was a stay-at-home dad from 2020 to this past August. So I know what it's like to pinch pennies. I put stuff back at the grocery store now. You know, but for the level of service we're providing, the vehicles that we're using, they're not cheap vehicles. Like those Model Ys are about $65,000 each. but the level of service, the safety, the security, the guarantee that someone's going to be there, that your car's not going to get beat up at the airport, that you're not going to fall asleep behind the wheel because you're tired going there and coming back. Yeah, it's worth it. And if you get me as the driver, you're going to have a great time. We're going to have a great time. Now, my other two, they're real quiet and laid back. They're going to get you there safe. That's what you want. But, if you want to have a good time, request me, Eric. I want Eric to do it. And if I can do it, I'll be there. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, no, I send it. I mean, again, this is a personal. Yeah, I send all that information, so you know exactly who's coming every time. I want you to know, because we have two vehicles, so I always say it's going to be a white Model Y, it's going to be the black Model Y. Your driver's going to be Kobe. Your driver's going to be Eric, so you'll know exactly who it is. Absolutely. And even for myself, I mean, I do that because most of my clients, I've never met them before, and I want them to know who I am. But I get a lot of business through like Facebook, like some of the groups, What's Happening Fayetteville, and some of these other groups. I get questions all the time, or references that I heard about you, and I'm just ready to serve the community in this particular way. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We'll be there. Yeah. So what I do, we'll say, what's your address? We'll ask you for your address. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll ask you the address of where you're being picked up at, where you're going, how long you want to stay, and then I'll give you a quote based on that. And if y'all like the quote, we're gonna do business. We're gonna have a good time, and it's worth it. Like when nothing happens, sometimes people don't see the value of it. When you have an accident or something, oh man, I wish I would have done this or done that. And I'm not trying to scare you into services or anything, but yeah, when nothing happens, that's great. When you get there safe, your mom or dad gets there safe, or your teenager gets there safe, and that's the value right there. I'll pay even more to make sure my loved one gets there. Yes, ma'am. Another question.
Does it cost per person? What if it's two? And does your hourly rate?
The hourly rate, like other companies, it does not matter the time of day. It's going to be the same price no matter what time of day, and we don't charge per person. We never charge per person. I mean, we're going to the same. We're going there already. So now we're not going to do a clown car and pack 12 people in there. I mean, we're not going to do that. So the maximum is going to be 3 in the back and 1 in the front, and it's not going to cost you a dime more. And I know other carriers may choose to do that, and I'm not trying to tell folks how to run their business. We choose to have the same rate any time of day, no matter the number of people. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, well, currently, we have 2 vehicles. So at worst case scenario, I would rent a vehicle myself. If something happened to the primary vehicle, I would just go and rent a vehicle and still come pick you up. It just won't be that, Model Y. It'd be something comparable. But yeah, I wouldn't say, well, we had a flat tire, so we can't come get you. I would say, hey, let me go to the airport, rent a vehicle. We're on the way. This is going to be a different vehicle. Yes, ma'am. Well, like if something yeah, we have insurance for one, but if we still need to get to the destination, yes, I would either have the other car come, or I would actually rent a car from wherever we are to make sure you still got there, and that's not going to cost you anything extra. Yes, sir.
I noticed with Uber, the price go up depending on the weather. So if we want that weather out, you will pay more money for that.
Man, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, but no, we don't charge extra ever. We never charge extra ever. No matter the time of day, the weather, it's going to be the same rate based on distance, and basically based on distance, and if there's any wait time. Different parents have different rules. I like that. Yes, sir. Hmm. No, we're not carrying anything. Yeah, but I do understand what you're asking. And the question was, if we have high profile clients, do we offer a layer of security with you know, the necessary tools to provide the security? So no, we're not bonded for that or anything. So no. Yes, yes, ma'am.
Because you appeal to a lot of different groups. You have the electronic vehicle component, you have the style component, you have the safety component, and I see that you're marketing to all of them. Which one are you pulling from the most right now? And have you seen that change since you've been in it?
So the question is basically, which segment of clients do we get requests from the most? The average person needing to go to the airport. We do those trips. People don't want to drive to Raleigh. That's what I'm figuring out. They don't want to drive to Raleigh, and then they don't want to take a chance that some of the big providers don't come. You can pull up those providers apps right now and try to reserve a ride right now for 4 a.m. January 25th. You can't do it. You can't do it. I mean, you could try it, but you can't do it. And then if you do, who's coming? Who's coming? EVuitton, you know exactly who's coming. You know exactly the vehicle. You know exactly the level of service each and every time. That's the guarantee. And if you're not happy, we'll give you your money back. I do right by people. I'm not money hungry. It's about taking care of people. So if you were not pleased, you can have your money back, you know, plus a dinner on me. I want to make sure you're happy. And our goal is to not take from people. Our goal is to provide a high level of service. And if you're not happy for whatever reason, and I'm sure that can happen one day, man, we're gonna give you your money back with something and say, we hope you choose us again.
Dinner at Phillips?
No, 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 no. 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 Right. No, we'll send you to rallies. Rallies on me.
My question, for privacy, is there partition?
Oh, no, no. So the question was, is there a partition? No, no, no. It's not an actual limo. This is a Tesla Model Y. It's open cabin. So no. So yeah, if you back there talking on the phone, I'm not gonna repeat anything. I mean, you know, don't say too much. I mean, I'm not nosy, but you know, if it's juicy, I'm gonna listen. You know, oh man, she left him. Oh my God. But I'm not gonna repeat it though. Yes, ma'am. I know we got time. I know we're up against the time. Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna take the last question.
Okay.
What can this community do for you? How can we help EVuitton?
The question is, how can the community help EVuitton? We have bookers for one, but spread the word. Like for real, when you hear your friends talking about they're going somewhere, EVuitton. When you think about a parent or a friend that has a parent that would like to go grocery shopping with someone that's gonna make sure they get there safe, or a person that has a disability that needs some extra care getting in the car and out of the car, think about EVuitton. I will be there. I have parents, and I wish my grandmother was still alive for me to provide services for her. So I would love to provide these services for your mothers, your grandmothers, grandfathers, your teenagers. So yeah, so just spread the word. EVuitton. If they don't know how to spell it, just give them the phone number. Just call this number. Yeah, ask for Eric. Yes, ma'am.
Really appreciate it. What a fantastic presentation.
Thank you.